Hey everyone, Robb from Imperial here, and today we're going to be talking about Combat Patrol and the fact that people still don't know about the contents of this here book. So, Combat Patrol, let me just talk about that first. I played an event 3 days ago that was Combat Patrol. It was the second one that my friendly local gaming store has done, and it's cool because they're kind of creating a little narrative with it. The first one, which I didn't go to, Tyranids came out on top, so they were like, oh hey, okay, there's a lot of Tyranid stuff going on in the second one, so kill the Xenos. It's like, kill the Xenos, Space Guard and Chaos are working together to kill the Xenos. They're not working together, but they're both trying to kill Xenos. And then Tyranids won again, so the next event that they're doing is going to be kill the Xenos, kill the Xenos, kill the Xenos, and probably a lot of no mercy type missions, because these were all objective missions, but no mercy, literally kill the Xenos. So I'm looking forward to that, especially after participating in this last one. But I want to talk about my performance in that, things I learned, and then lastly, because it ties into that, the contents of this here book. So I had fun. I'm just gonna preface all of this with I had fun. I'm glad I went. I came in last, and I still had fun, and that's important, because I think if you can play a game and come in last and still say that you had fun, that's the mark of a good game. What I'm not too sure of is some of the people I played against and their understanding of the game, which I'll get to. But first game I lost against Blood Angels, and it was a close game, but they ultimately had a little bit of an upper hand. They just had a little bit better tactics, and at the end of it, they were able to secure an objective, and they got First Blood and Linebreaker, as where I got Warlord and no objectives. So it would have been a closer game had I actually been able to get an objective. But points wise, we killed about the same guys. The second game I won, and that was against Imperial Guardsmen, and I need to look in the Guardsmen book because that player was rolling a lot of dice, like 125 to 150 dice every single turn, and maybe that's just how Guardsmen roll. Ha, get it? It's a joke. But it just seemed excessive. And he kept saying rank 1, rank 2, and I'm like, what does that mean? And he couldn't really explain it to me. And the fact that he couldn't explain it to me was aggravating, because at that point, show me where in the book what this means, because he was rolling 4 shots for every single guy in his army. And this is a 4x4 map, and he was like measuring between them. But I think at one point he said, oh, they're a foot away, but they were like 16 inches away and not a foot away. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I don't play Guardsmen. I'll have Imperium 2 to check. But I won that game, and then my final game I lost pretty awfully against Tyranids. That was actually a complete wipeout because he was running a really weird thing. So let me just run through that third game real quick. So Tyranids, generally, oh hey, look at us, we're gonna come attack you type army, from what I've experienced. The one time I've played against Tyranids, talking like an expert. And he was running a shooty Tyranids army, like shoot across the map Tyranids army. Like, here's a big guy whose head looks like a cannon, and here are 3 smaller guys who all have really long range guns, and oh, here are some bugs, little tiny bugs, 3 on a base, to make up the troop component, and here's my HQ that's buffing my big shooty guy and my smaller shooty guys, and not really doing anything himself. And I made the mistake of placing my guys a little bit further away, so they just got absolutely blown up as they tried to make their way. Also, I'm going to get into why I got screwed over by people not knowing the contents of the good book in that game, as well as my second game. So, the thing with games is, I try not to be a rules lawyer, but because I'm a dungeon master for D&D, I like to know the rules, I like to follow the rules, and when I break a rule, or when I'm changing something in my D&D games, I tell that to my players. And I say, oh hey guys, just so you know, I'm not allowing the alert feat, and we're going to do grappling as this roll versus this roll instead of the way it says in the book. And I tell them that usually at the start of a campaign, or if it's a long established thing, they know, but I reaffirm it. A little bit different with a really casual Combat Patrol event. You know, this was 3 rounds, 45 minutes per round with 10-minute deployment. not a whole lot of time for discussion while you're trying to finish your deployment. And I think in almost every case, the deployment ate into a little bit of the 45 minutes, but it was fun. We finished all the games. But the thing that I found interesting was, in my first game, we used a warlord trait, and we had 4 command points. In my second game, we had 3 command points. And in my third and final game, we had a warlord trait and 3 command points. Now, the last one is correct, and the first 2 are wrong. And prior to this event, and then me going and checking the good book, I was not sure myself. I didn't know, and so I was trusting my opponents, who spoke pretty confidently, to know. And that's kind of the thing I want to point out is, if you sound and act confident about a rule, and I'm saying I don't know, obviously we're going to go with that. But if you don't know, don't sound so confident, and maybe say, oh, we should check just in case. And that applied to 2 separate things in my second and third game. So I'm kind of done talking about the event. It was a fun event. The guy that ran it was awesome. Thank you. I forget your name. I think it begins with a D. But you did a good job. We started at 7:30 and we were driving away at 10:22. So you kept things on time. The thing in the second game that I'm not sure about, also in addition to this, is, and I think I said this already, this is my second time recording this, so I might be repeating myself, is he was shooting between 125 and 150 shots every round, because he was playing Guardsmen, and I guess they all get 4 shots, because first rank, second rank. I don't know what that means, and he couldn't tell me what it means, and he wouldn't show me what it means. Anyway, I ended up winning that game, so I really don't care, and it's a casual event, so again, I really don't care. I'm just there to have fun, and I won. And I had fun anyways. But, we used 3 command points, but when I brought up a warlord trait, he's like, oh no, you don't use warlord traits in Battleforged. Okay. I just did, and I hear other people using them, but that's fine. And then my third game was infantry can't walk through ruins. Oh, but all the terrain, by the way, was basically ruins, except for, or at least on the tables I played, all the terrain was considered ruins. The walls had holes in them that you could shoot through, and this, that, and the other thing. So, infantry can walk through ruins. That is clear as crystal in the good book. You can walk through ruins if you're infantry, not if you're a bike, not if you're a wolf, not if you're a dreadnought, but if you're infantry, walk on through. There's a whole summer you can squeeze through. My opponent said, oh no, that's not how that works. You have to walk around. And I said, that's not how I've been playing it. It's been playing it this way, and this is my understanding. And he's like, oh, well, you have to walk around because it's a solid wall. Fun fact, in ruins, it can be a solid wall. If the piece is considered a ruin, infantry can walk through solid walls, if that's what's on the actual thing. And I think a lot of this has to do with people coming back from older editions and remembering rules differently, which is fine. But it's hard because I know when you think you know a rule, why would you question yourself? Like, if you're pretty sure, oh yeah, you can't walk through walls, why would you be able to walk through walls? You're not going to stop and say, why can't you walk through walls? But it's so aggravating when then 2 turns later in that game, we go and we find out, oh yeah, you can walk through walls. The tournament organizer, because it's not really a tournament, came over and was like, nope, open up your book, here it is, you can walk through walls. And that would have greatly impacted. I probably still would have lost, but it wouldn't have been a shutout unless my dice really, really hated me. It was just really annoying, quite frankly. That was one thing, and then I was told in that game, we get 3 command points not because it's the Battleforged army, which I've checked, and is the case, and now I know, and knowledge is power. It's because being a patrol detachment gives you 3. Patrol detachment gives you 0, battalion detachment gives you 3. We had the right stuff for the wrong reasons. In the first game, we had the right reasons, but the wrong amount, because he said we had 4, and you only get 3. Whatever. My big thing, and my kind of takeaway from this video is, this is a new edition. It's been out barely over a month. I think it's been out a month and not even 2 weeks yet. If you and your opponent disagree on something, unless you are like, I literally just read that and I play this game every day and I eat it for breakfast, maybe offer to look it up. Offer to look up the rule and be like, oh, you think you've been playing You Walk the Ruins and no one has said you can't? Okay, well, let's check just in case. Because that's generally what I do. When I'm playing with someone who isn't sure, or when someone does something that I'm not sure about, I'm like, oh, this was my understanding of it. Let's check. And I don't know why I didn't say that this time. I don't know why. I think it was the amount of confidence that the player had in what he was saying was true versus anything else. I think I was just like, oh, okay, well, I've been doing it wrong. And that would change a lot of things. No, I was doing it right. The other thing I didn't know, that now I do know, that I learned in that game, is you measure distance vertically. I thought you could just I thought infantry could just up and down all day. Apparently you still measure vertically, although I'm still not entirely sure because the wording is weird. They say they can go through floors unhindered. And I get that it's still distance, right? It's still distance to go up. Like, maybe that just means they can walk, like, go directly up, like, through floors. I don't know. I looked online, and most people are saying, yeah, you still measure distance vertically, but there are some people that are saying, no, you don't. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to reread the errata, but I can admit that I don't know that, right? It's fine if you don't know the rules, and you don't know the rules. Just don't be really confident in the rules that you don't know. And I don't know, like I said, there's already the maybe you know, maybe you don't thing. That's fine. End of it all, I'm really looking forward to the next event, and I'm gonna be more willing to not call my opponent out, but if they say something that I think to not be true, that I think I've read and played differently, to then go to the book and figure that out versus just saying, oh, okay, they must know better than me. And I think that's true for everyone. Even if you're a new player, if you've been playing it one way and, doing this and the other thing, if you've been walking up buildings without movement, ask your TO. Your TO, whether or not your TO is right, your TO has the final say, and they'll say, oh yeah, you don't have to walk up, or you do have to walk up. And in this case, the TO said, yeah, you do measure it vertically. And I guess there's an old 7th or 6th edition rule where it's like, oh, each floor is 3 inches. He just said just use 3 inches, even though it was like 3.5. I don't know. I want to kind of find the official Games Workshop ruling on it just for clarity, but I don't know if that's out yet. That's really all I have for this episode, but I do want to mention Craig did better than me. He came in 6th with his Death Guard, and plenty of people really don't like the deathly resilient, or disgustingly resilient, rather, trait that he had on all of his guys, because they could not kill him. The 5 toughness and disgustingly resilient shut down a lot of people. He went 2-1. He beat the same Imperial Guardsman that I beat, and he also beat the Tyrannid player that I lost to pretty badly. And I don't know what army he ended up losing to. It might have been a different Tyrannid player. But anyway, that's all I have for now. I will be back next time with a video about the Fate of Connor campaign and what's up with power rankings. But until then, I've been Robb from Ready to Roll, and I'll catch you guys next time.